You'll look younger, smaller, lighter, fuller, tighter, thinner, softer. It really works.
My story is I used to get bullied a lot when I was younger. I would get told that my hair was different, that my hair was not supposed to be curly, and I would get told that I would have lice because my hair was curly. I was innocent, so I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know that having my curly hair into braids would cause people to make fun of me. I didn't know that having my hair frizzy all the time meant that I was dirty or had lice, like kids would describe to me. There was even a point when I was younger that I would have to pay. I'm not gonna say friends, because friends, you don't have to pay your friends to be your friend, you know? I would have to pay little girls to be my friend for a day. I know it sounds so unreal, but I would have to pay like $1 a day. The next day I wouldn't have money, and they would tell me, well, you don't have money, so I'm not gonna be your friend today. And I had to deal with that. I had to like overcome that, because I mean, no little girl wants to go through that, having to pay your friends to be your friend, you know? And that was a big factor in my life.
I never had problems with my body when I was younger. I think it was about 5th, 6th grade when they told me, oh, you're fat. And that's when my whole world changed. I'd never saw myself before that way. And my response to it was just eating. And I couldn't stop, because that's how I would deal with it. And throughout middle school, I got teased, and girls would call me fat, and what happened to you? Used to be thin. And it was hard. It was hard to get over it and deal with it. But I didn't fight back. All I did was just eat. I didn't know how to do it.
Well, when I was younger, I was chubby, and I got teased a lot by my brothers. And I know that some of my classmates would make comments about my weight as well. Somehow, I never let that bother me.
At a very young age, I was never really a big girl. I was thin in my elementary, middle school, and high school years. But I think about the age of 6, that's when I started to feel insecure about my body.
It made me feel unwanted. It made me feel alone. I felt that I wasn't good enough to be anybody's friend. I felt that I felt like it was all appearance. Like, I didn't feel like kids were being friends with each other because of the way they are inside, you know? They have a good heart. Are they humble? Are they not? You know, I felt like kids at the time were just basing everything on appearance, you know? And I didn't grow up like that. I grew up in a very humble home where my family it's all about like what's on the inside rather on what's on the outside. So I mean, going into a school like that with kids that are very judging and critical, it really like hurt. Like, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to deal with that. I didn't know, okay, what should I do now? What should I do next?
I've had friends who are skinny and they're model looking, and they seem to always to find a flaw in themselves. So that made me realize, like, everyone is not perfect and you are who you are.
As a kid, I had a lot of Barbies, and I remember my first one being white complected with blonde hair and super thin. So, that made me think that society expected a beautiful woman to look that way.
When I was going into high school, I almost weighed about 200 pounds, and I started getting more unhealthy throughout the years, maybe my freshman to junior year. And I think when I got to my junior year, that was my biggest weight. It was about 200 pounds. And it was already too much. I had breathing problems, I had stomach problems, I was anemic, I was always tired and lazy, and I just didn't feel good about myself. Even though my friends would support me, they'd tell me, oh, well, you're pretty, you're beautiful, just don't listen to what other people say. But in the back of my mind, I just remembered everybody making fun of me and saying that, well, you're fat, you have big legs, just stuff like that, and I wasn't happy.
When I was little, I was very chunky, big boned, as my mom would tell me. And then when I hit middle school, that's when everything changed. People would tell me, you're fat, you're too big for your age. They would just call me all these mean names, and that got to me. I stopped eating. I went through a period of bulimia, and that time my parents didn't notice because I would eat and eat and eat. And then as soon as I was done eating, a couple of minutes later, I would go to the bathroom. I would turn on the shower, the sink, and make myself throw up so my parents wouldn't hear.
About my senior year, I decided, I need to make a change. So I started exercising, Zumba, dancing, just fun stuff, eating better, eating less. And it's been about 3 years since I've lost all that weight, and right now I'm about 140. And I'm doing Spartan races, and I'm running, and I have a boyfriend now. And now I feel better about myself. I never felt ugly. I was insecure, and I just didn't feel like I don't know how to explain it. I didn't feel worthy enough to hang out with a certain crowd of people that would make fun of me, and they made me feel low. But I knew I didn't want to get up to their level because they weren't good people. If they're making fun of somebody, that's not a good person. So then, I got comfortable with myself, and now I'm at my best point in life, that I can say that I went through this and I conquered it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm happy right now, and I do it for myself. I don't do it to people please. I'm happy, and I live and I work out for myself, and I eat healthy because I know I want to live a long life and not worry about what other people think.
I didn't really let that bother me, but I think it's also because I was confident with my appearance, and I'm a very outgoing girl. I was never shy, and my friends saw me for who I am, not for the way I look.
Looking at my past pictures, it made me realize that I was always a thin girl, and it saddens me to know that during those times, I always saw a big girl, someone that society was not going to accept.
All that confidence led me to not care what all those people thought or said about me, and it also helped me love myself and feel comfortable in my own skin.
I went with a psychologist, a psychiatrist. I went through sessions, medications. It was very painful at first because I still wanted to be accepted, but I learned to accept myself for who I am and not care what other people think, and to do things like exercise, eating healthy, to do it for myself and not for other people.
Having those insecurities at a very young age really affected me down the road. I became a very shy person. I'm not very confident, and I feel like I come off awkward to most people. It's something that I'm working on, and I know that it's not going to happen overnight. And I know that one day I will be able to feel comfortable.
I related when she mentioned that she was being teased and bullied, it felt like I felt her pain. Like I felt what she was going through because I went there, you know. And reading those lines, it took me back to my childhood memory, and I just it's like I connected with her in a way.
I know how it feels to when people tell you things and make you feel self-conscious and make you want to get rid of some of your body parts that you're not happy with.
Okay, when I was reading it, I was already having a bad day. So when I read it, I immediately broke out in tears because when they're telling her that you have big legs, maybe not the big nose part, but the big legs part, I was like, wow, that is me. And I did change myself for that. I mean, I didn't starve myself. I didn't have plastic surgery or anything, but I did eat, and that's how I changed my body. It wasn't bad to begin with. It wasn't that bad. I mean, I was chubbier than other girls, but not huge, and I just ate myself into what they called me to, or they labeled me, and I did become big. But that was my fault, you know. I just ate and I ate and I ate, and when I was reading that, so that's what I was thinking. I was like, man, I shouldn't have. If I shouldn't have listened to them, it shouldn't have affected me, but it did. That's how it affected me.
Well, when I started reading the poem, I related to the little girl playing with the G-stoves and the dolls, and my mom used to give me the tiny lipsticks to play with. And as the poem kept going, you know, you realize that the girl got affected by what the people were thinking about her, and she wanted to change for them. And it really brought back memories on how I wanted to change. You know, Barbies were my all-time favorite toy, and I realized that because of my Barbie dolls, I wanted to have the white skin, I wanted to be thin, and it really affected me in the end.
After reading the Barbie doll, you know, it really bothered me to know that she didn't have confidence in herself, and she let those people make comments about her, and she let it affect her. You know, I relate to her. I have the big legs, and I have the big nose, and I am not gonna let society change me. Society's gonna try to change you, and you're gonna try to measure up, but don't. Be your own kind of beautiful.
Just to let them know that they're not alone, that it's a long-term process, and like I said, it's something that's not gonna happen overnight. So just keep fighting.
Who you are, if you want to lose weight, good for you, but don't do it for other people, do it for yourself.
You know, if someone's gonna like you, they're gonna like you for who you are, not for what you look like.
Beauty comes in all shapes and sizes. If you're happy with yourself, that's all that should matter. Love yourself.